Good evening, guys. Another Grandmaster Choice lecture here at the St. Louis Chess Club. I'm Alexander Shabalov, and we're going to be talking about we're going to talk about a new emergent player. Not sure what the name of the lecture is, but there is this joke that, well, on the half joke actually, that says the current match in Dubai that these two guys are playing, that's a semi-final. Okay, they playing for the right to play someone else after that match, and that someone else is who we're going to be talking about today. Former Iranian and current French player, board one for France on the recent European Team Championship, Alireza Firouzja. So every day the chess world becomes more and more convinced that this was one of the players who's going to be in the next match, and the second guy will know his name in a few more days. And in Dubai, I think everyone has a very little doubt that it's going to be Magnus, but hopefully, I hope so, that Jan still has like something in him to at least win a one, maybe two games, because right now what's going on there, it's just like he's not even trying. Well, so hopefully tomorrow we'll see what's going on there. Okay, anyway, so Alireza he's probably second, right? After beating Mamedyarov, he became second for some time in the live rating player.
Yeah,
live rating, okay. And a lot of top players, of course, questioning. I've seen Kramnik saying that no, not yet. I mean, maybe 5 years from now. Definitely some signs of it, that he might be the next one, but not there yet. And it was echoed by a lot of top players, but frankly, I don't really understand why. Because looking at his games, I see all the signs. I see all the signs of the guy who still, has a lot of room to improve, and he's improving every day. He's growing up with every game he plays, and to me, the biggest sign that he would be like unbelievable threat in the next cycle is that the way he wins his games, okay, unlike the most of the top players right now who are, once they get you out of the opening, get some advantage, and it's just a flawless game most of the time. It's not what happened with Firouzja. A lot of his games, he's winning in waves. Okay, so he starts well and it goes his way. There's a mistake. Okay, games go back to like somewhat along equality lines, and then the second wave, he overplays his opponent again, and then might be a third and fourth wave, and it looks like he doesn't mind doing that. Okay, he's full of energy, he's very young. Okay, physically he doesn't look like super overwhelming, but I guess at this age it really doesn't matter. Okay, well, it's enough health to withstand long games, and I'm sure that if he had to play like this game 6, what we had in Dubai, it wouldn't go that way. It wouldn't go Magnus' way that easily, like how it was with what we saw there. Okay, so definitely he is my pick to win next cycle, and whether or not he will be ready to play Magnus in 2 years, we yet to see. Okay, because well, we saw Jan was simply not ready. Okay, was like he was not there, unfortunately. I mean, but we're gonna look at his games. We're gonna look at his attacks, mostly from the last tournament, though he won. He impressively won. He tied for first with Fabiano. So congratulations to both players, by the way. Congrats to Fabi to grab candidate seat. And my hometown of my town where I was born, Riga in Latvia, and that was a great tournament with 2 winners, Caro-Kann and Firouzja, and there are I think 8 more guys who made it into Grand Prix. And well, if everything goes well, they still have chances to fill up the remaining spots. And obviously, Alexis Shabalov is my favorite out of the remaining crowd. We'll see if that was just one tournament that he played well. Well, definitely was not a one tournament because he was very impressive at the European Championship as well. But there was a stretch. Will he be able to carry it out through the spring of 2022? We'll see. But yep, I'll be rooting for him, and hopefully some of you will join me doing that. Okay, anyway, so let's go. The first game, it was against Jobava. It was towards the end of the European Championship when, by the way, if you don't know the results, since, well, it's Europe, well, who cares? French team found this magic formula playing those tournaments. So everyone, all the boards except for the first one, just like from move 1, are trying to make like a draw, which is and when 3 boards doing that, well, guess what? France wins the match, and that formula worked perfectly, and France was about to grab the gold, team gold at that European Championship, and at the last moment, Ukraine overcame them, on a tie breaks. So they scored same amount of points and everything, but some chess gods decided that Ukraine needs it more this time. So, but silver was still very impressive for the team, which was not such a threat to any team tournaments recently. And with Firouzja, like, everything has changed. Okay, so they were playing Georgia, that Baadur represents these days. And no, I know, in case you don't know who Jabava is, the guy probably has the biggest swings among elite players. So I think less than 2 years ago he was on the brink of making like top 10 and top 20, played all these top tournaments, and now you see his rating below 2600. But everyone knows he's like on a normal day he's like a 27 plus player. It's no questions about it. The guy possesses all the qualities of the top players. He's been there. It's just, I guess, part of his personality, part of his lifestyle that permits such swings back and forth like 150 points in a year span. But great player. What can I say? So let's go. E4. I really want to start with the moment in a deep middle game where Jabava thought that maybe he's kind of wrestling the initiative out of the Firouzja's hand, and the moment he thought that this is the case, okay, he fell victim to a super impressive attack in my opinion. So we get to that point, and I will ask you to start guessing moves. Okay, so it's going to be interactive. So Caro-Kann, the opening is interesting, and for the reason that Caro-Kann is Firouzja's main opening against e4 right now. So he plays this himself, played a lot of games in Riga with it, defended it despite like some, not such great positions. And so this is advanced Caro-Kann with e5, and knight f3 is a pretty quiet continuation. I already said in my previous lectures that g4, current favorite of engine favorite, and they think that black will having a hard time after g4 at this point. It becomes like gradually it becomes the weapon of choice for many grandmasters. So if you guys didn't do it yet, well, pay attention to this move, the Caro-Kann players. It might be pretty soon, it might be your nightmare. So knight f3, e6, bishop e2, knight e7. Well, the main theoretical move when you need to know a lot is c5, and I don't know. Firouzja did not make an impression right now as a theoretical guy yet. Okay, we don't see too many wins out of the opening, or just because like some novelties. Like, so definitely he's not like Maxim, for example, right, or Karana or Magnus, who can just like demonstrate you the new idea in the opening and just sweep you off the board. So he tries to play without opening. That's why a lot of people saying like the guy doing this, right? He's not trying to beat the opponent right out of the opening. What does he possibly, hopes for in top chess? Like, well, when you have a lot of energy and everything, and I think that Magnus was doing for a long time. He just didn't want to see any surprises in the opening, and he was doing great. And here we go. a4, typical plan for white. I'm trying to grab some space. I want to put my pawn on a5, take b6 square away from black knight on d7 before I'm playing c4. So specific moves are not that important. Bishop a5, there's nothing really new. But I think, yeah, as a result of the opening, black was not a bit worse, okay? And like I said, until the moment where Jabava decided that it's time for him to, probably grab the initiative, it looked like, white has absolutely nothing. So takes, queen c3. No, yeah, when you see queen c3, you know that which side is trying to equalize, tries not to lose. And here we go. So this is a position where bishop c2 is happening. So it looks like this way black wrestles the c file away from white and has all the chances, right? Okay, for those of you who think the Firouzja next challenge is a very funny joke, I mean, like I said, I already explained my reasons. I think yeah, it could happen that it's still not his cycles, that he maybe needs like a 4 years, not 2. But the way he plays, and from what I see, how the other players do here, he's already there. Okay, so Yilmaz argue that his endgame is not up to the task yet, and his opening is definitely not there yet. And Corona beat him in Riga when he needed. He beat him on demand, but you know, in 2 years, it's all will be forgotten if it just goes the way it goes right now. It goes super fast, and well, he's my candidate. He's my candidate for next one. Even though, of course, if it will be, no, I mean seriously, who is going to be? Caro-Kann and Jabava. Okay, no. I don't even want to explain my reasons, give my reasons. Okay, these two guys, they're just, you know, just because they're there. Corona, yes, possible. I mean, it might be one of his last chances, so he will be very serious in doing that. Nepo going to be back? We'll see about that. It's not very likely right now. So, who else? Anyone who qualifies well, Wesley will try to get into candidates. We'll see if he'll be able to do that. Grishuk, fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be a candidate. Who else? Those 8 people who entered like Grand Prix from Riga, none of them. Just like so it's between Corona and Firouzja, and I think I'll give it to younger players. So I don't see it's like a lot of as a joke. No, not at all. Okay. All right. And this is a position where Black played Bishop c2, and looks like he threatens to take. Well, does he? Does he threaten to take on c3? No, he does not. He wants to move the knight from d7 first, and then okay. Now that I'm starting to think, is knight a2 a threat that Black created? Knight a2, it is a threat, right? If it's Black to move again, this move, no, it does not win material. Okay, but it forces White to take on c7, and then move the rook away, and then Black will probably win the fight for a c-file, and with the weak pawn on d4, no, it will be a difficult defense for White. So Jobava created a threat, let's put it this way. And starting from here, it's a straightforward attack for White, right? And so what's the starting move? What do you think? If we're talking about the attack, any idea? Okay. Okay, so there's a poll, takes a little bit of a chat, and I don't see the last one. So, is there any way I can move it a little bit?
Yeah, let me take a look.
Towards like so I can see some last things in chat. So I'm sorry, Hikaru didn't play a classical game in 2 years. I don't know what about Hikaru. Like you asking if he's still has world championship aspiration? No, he doesn't. So, okay, thank you. All right. Dude and Dink. Well, what about Dude and Dink? First of all, they have to make two candidates yet, right? And no, if we compare Dude and Firouzja, I don't think they're comparable at the moment. No, he's not trash, okay, but you know, he still has to win like anything closer to what Firouzja did. So we got like he's very solid and he's very, very consistent, and that's a big plus for him. But any big wins from him? Yeah. No, not there yet. Okay. Duda is in candidates already? Like, how is that? From the World Cup, right? Okay, sorry. Yeah, you're right. That's my fault, of course. Yeah. Duda is there. Okay. Oh, okay, maybe number 3. Okay, let's leave Duda at number 3 as a of my right. No, I forgot that he played in the final. That's right, my fault. Okay, so no first move. Obviously, since we like I already announced that it's going to be a sweep and attack, we should not give black any chance to trade queens. So queen goes away, right? Oops. Queen goes to g3. No, that move is. And queen d8. No, I guess like for Jabava, I believe that's where he stopped. Like he saw bishop c2, queen g3, and he thought queen d8, that stops g5, gets away from the pin. And again, I'm simply threatened to move the bishop away and win the c-file. Or, I don't know, there are better moves here. It's hard to tell. Bishop takes d7. No, I should have asked you like how white's supposed to go for g5. Should he go like h4 or maybe something else? The simplest way, takes on d7 and goes g5. So black h5 preventing opening the file is not an option, just drops the pawn for nothing. Okay, knight takes, knight d3, and the rook simply moves away. And then knight goes to f6, and it's going to be a checkmate. So he has to take. Okay. Queen takes. Okay, I'm glad like a 65% saying Firouzja next world champion. Okay, well, queen d8. Okay, well, white to move, and again, since we're attacking, we're not trading queens, we need to put it somewhere where the black cannot attack it, and so choice is between queen h5 check, I think queen g3, queen g2. The queen h5 check, pushing the black king towards the safety, probably out. Queen g4, the bishop f5. So queen goes to black square, the dark square. No, queen h5. Okay. I already forgot what happened in this game. Yeah. So why not queen g3? I don't know. Okay, check. Here we go. And knight f3. So tempo play. G6. Rook g1. So suddenly white attacks with all 4 pieces. Okay, unfortunately none of his pawns can join really. H pawn on h5 would be fantastic, of course, but there's not enough space for all the white pieces to be on this on this part of the board. So he it's an attack with pieces. It's actually a really hard thing to do. It's like it's much easier to attack when you have pawns that can open up the position than attack with just pieces alone. Okay, so knight c6. No, Jabava is a strong player. He realized that, you know, if white goes knight h4 right now, then despite the fact that he will have to sacrifice on g6 something, no, 4 pieces will break through. So knight quickly tries to return to e7, and that's the idea of this move. Queen h6, queen f8, queen h4. So pause for a second. He pauses for a second, creates like a different kind of threats. There's knight h5, knight f6. There's knight g5 there. So queen g7. Okay, and knight h5. No, everything's logical. And black has a choice now between queen h6 and queen h8. I think this is where Jabava makes a mistake. Queen goes to f6, rook g4. Excellent attacking move. And when we are analyzing the game like this, right, all these moves don't look that difficult and hard, but in real time over the board to attack that precisely, it is very impressive. So rook goes g4. When you play in this move, you immediately need to see the idea, like queen f6 and rook h4, that rearrangement of pieces. It's not easy to see from here. Actually, he had to see the whole sequence starting from knight h5 here. Right, rook g4, knight h5, rook g4, queen f6, rook h4. White had other options as well. So it's great. When you see a great attack from in the real time, it's always very impressive. So queen f6 has been promised, okay, and queen takes h5, rook h4. No, obviously. Is knight g5 even better? No. It's like rook h4 is enough. We don't really need to. And knight d8, rook h4, king goes back to g8. Knight g5 comes in. And bishop d1, it seems to me, I don't know, but knowing Jabava, I think he was still thinking that he's doing okay. Okay, well, obviously time trouble and everything, but after bishop d1, now I want you to tell me how white finished this game. Okay. Yesipenko, yeah, that's a good one, but well, maybe in the next one, not in this current one. This is interesting, like when you're saying Firouzja next Kasparov and Khmer, would be interesting to do a little different parallel here. Okay, when I was listening to Kramnik the other day, you know, talking about the match, he remembered how, like in the beginning of 90s, in the span of 2-3 years, the top 10 of the world was completely replaced by new players. So instead of like Lubojevic and Bilavsky and who else, like Timon, all of a sudden there was like Anand, there is Kramnik, there is Gelfand, there is Shirov, there is Kamsky. It happened in the span of 2-3 years. So right now there is no threat of like a top 10 will be replaced in 2-3 years. There's but the names that you are bringing, they definitely they will be participating. So it's interesting to see if Khmer will make it into top 10 in 2 years, right? Or Duda is already there, right? And Firouzja is already there. But there's only 2. Yasipenko, 2 years. Don't see it yet. Okay, nobody does, I guess. But plays strong. This, certain games are super impressive, but well, not there yet. So if we are looking to the same process that happened in the beginning of 90s when the top 10 was replaced in just 2 years, that's interesting to see. And I think this Grand Prix in the spring will give a lot of answers to us. Okay, if there's like new players will emerge, and there are a lot of names that could be in the mix. There are those Uzbek players that did absolutely fantastic in our World Cup, and I don't know, young Armenians, well, that did so well online. Okay, will they be a threat? Was that for real? Well, we'll see that. Okay, all right. Go ahead. What's white did now? Any idea? Beautiful finish by Alireza. Knight takes f7 is interesting, but what's the follow-up? Yeah, okay. If you're suggesting something, how about giving me the whole line? Just don't say like queen h8 and just that's it. Okay. Just give me a couple more moves, all right? Yasipenko plus score against Magnus out of what, 2 games? It's not enough. Okay. Let's try. Queen e7 and bishop takes h5. What's the point? How are you going to win that? Khmer, Nihal. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Of course, I forgot about the, like, how to describe all the young Indian players all together. It's just a bunch, and you know, army. It was like a, yeah, of course, all those guys, Nihal and Arjun, and it's like yeah. No. Okay, so Thibaut gets me a final answer. Yeah, so the move Jabava did not see, and white had to see it in the moment he played knight h5, is queen d8. It was like a bolt in the sky for Jabava. I'm sure that okay, black has to take, and a nice checkers combination. Check, take a queen, knight takes f7, and picks it up. So total checkers, you know, in the end. You're given one, and then you're picking up the rest of it. So well, attack itself, maybe it's not that hard, the separate move. It's just the speed, which I remember watching this game live, and I thought, wow, what an unclear position, and what is it gonna do? Like, it's the typical position where Jabava like actually doing pretty well. Unclear, with mutual chances, you know, the play on both sides of the board, and then less than 10 moves later, he resigns to queen takes d8. To me, well, that was a real sign, you know, of something going on too. Okay, anyway, so let's keep going. Hello everyone. Yep, just reminding that we are replace. Okay, let's replace it. So Yilmaz, yeah, that game. Okay, again, we're not going to go through the whole game. It's just like with just want to show you that strategically he's there already. Okay, if he wants to do something, he finds a way, and there is no there's no stopping him. So Mustafa Yilmaz, I guess I'm not sure if he's top Turkish player, number one, board one, or not. But again, great performance in the World Cup. So well, I guess if he was playing Firouzja on board one in European teams, so he is a board one for Turkey. Okay. Pragna is strong, but yeah, let's give him a little bit more time to develop. Yeah, that. Okay, bishop e3. Yeah, let's go to the point where I want us to concentrate. So, right. Oh, Sicilian, Najdorf, not the most dangerous line for black. And after the play on a king side, the kind of blocked, right? The white finds himself in a situation where if he wants to win this game, he has to open the queen side. So basically, he has to play c4, open up the queen side, and then use the fact that his both pieces, knight and the bishop, are participating in fight on the queen side, and black knight on h5 and bishop on e7 are not. So in other words, the white has a firepower advantage on the queen side, and he needs to open. The problem is, of course, that black will not be cooperating. You will try to play c4, I will play b4. You will not be able to open the c file. The rook will not be able to join. So let's see how Firouzja makes sure it happens. So first of all, okay, there is no direct way of doing it. Just like if you go c4 immediately, probably rook goes to c8, and you cannot even pins the c pawn. You cannot really do much. He takes his time. So patience is there. Okay, unlike one of Dubai players right now, right? We'll see that he takes his time if he needs to. So, like I said, he's not really up against the idea not to win the game right away. If he needs to win it in the second and third wave of attack, he'll do it. So c3, g6, whatever. So he doubles first, and black here to meet it, right? So again, if white plays c4, black will simply play b4, and opening the c file without tons of exchanges will be extremely difficult. So how can white ensure that c file gets open here? What's the idea of doing that? What do you think? How we can play c4 so that the black cannot play b4 as an answer? So we need these two rooks in the play, right? Okay. Wesley, next challenger, quite possible. a4 is interesting. Okay, let's see. a4 was a suggestion, right? So and how you going to open the c file here? If I'll just take. So just to justify these two rooks, looking at his own points. Okay, c4 and c5. That's not a bad idea. But like I said, the problem doing that is that it's going to lead to tons of exchanges. And for example, what if I'll take, right? Bishop takes, and I don't know, something like knight to f4. Is that going to be that easy? Not really, right? Not that clear. Pretty unclear situation. Okay, I see, yep. I see the correct answer already. So in order to stop b4, white has to put his own piece over there. And that's what b4, and that's what he does, okay? You know, I played a lot of Najdorf with both colors, and I've seen a lot of Najdorf. This is absolutely fresh idea. I've never seen anything like that. Okay, really, really cool. And I'm sure this over the board inspiration for this guy. So b4. Exactly, it seems scary, and all the instincts that the chess players, like when we start learning chess, and the coaches telling us, like pawns that cover the king, you know, never touch them. You know, every time you touch them, it creates a weakness. And well, here we're trying to break through over here, b4. Okay, black says, I'm ready for your c4. Okay, try to do this. I'm like, you'll play c4, I'll take on b4, and you still cannot open the c file. So what's next? What's next? a4 doesn't block. Unfortunately for black, a4 doesn't block because white will play c4 anyway. Okay. The white to move next. How do we make sure that c4 comes in? We have to somehow. Queen takes b5 is really scary. Like opening the b file like this. It's I don't know, rook b8. Also, yeah, we might win the pawn, but we fail to achieve what we really wanted to do, which is open the c file. So now almost for sure that the c file is not going to get open. Queen a4, and then I don't know, knight f4 to start with, maybe d5, rook c4. Unclear situation. That definitely, strategically it's wrong because c file remains closed. How do we open the c file? We need to force black to take on b4 so for the c file to get open. Yeah, great Wolf. That was a good remark. Bishop takes e7 and rook takes c6. I was also looking at it, but I think it's knight takes d5. Rook takes c6 and queen takes e7. You only have a piece on a rook for a queen. I don't think it was clear. Right. Knight b3. Okay, knight b3 is interesting, but I'm already threatened to take on b4. So knight b3 and I'll take on b4. You cannot take back. So this is an extremely tense moment. So next white move is sort of, if white doesn't have a move right now, then what he did was just stupid. Okay, yep, and here we get the answer from Trent. That's a4. Okay, so it was not enough to push the b pawn forward. Let's do a pawn goes forward as well. So, and now we see how all white pieces are participating in the attack. Okay, rooks are defending c3, bishop takes away b6 from the rook, knight takes away c4 from the rook. And that's a difference. While these two pieces are away from the action, white is using all his 5 pieces to do something. No, you cannot take on a4 because b5 wins an exchange. So black takes on b4. Okay, and now comes the kind of the star move of the combination for white, which is what? Can I draw arrows? I'll learn to do that next time. Okay, I mean, I should be able to. Okay. Why does white win an exchange? Okay, hold on a second. You're asking like why do white wins an exchange here? Because the rook doesn't have square to go to. You have to give it up on either on c4 or on c5 or on b6, and that's an exchange, right? Okay. So again, that's what happened in the game. And white to move. Okay, I already see, yeah, a couple of people. Amazing James Guian and Mark Martinez. Correct move is queen takes c6. So super cool. I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot in chess. Probably, I mean, for 40 plus years of my chess career, I mean, I've seen a lot of things. What I see from Firouzja is new. I mean, I haven't seen those things in a very, very long time. Okay. So black has to take, and just this one. And guess what? Now the absence of a knight on a queen side becomes especially clear. For example, if black exchanges everything, takes on c2, twice takes on a4, b pawn will cost him at least a bishop. Probably, maybe it will be queening if white will take his time. So it has to do this, and then the rook is the only piece that can possibly stop a pawn. Okay. So we need to keep it, and of course we keep in the extra pawn, right? So a5. So this pawn combined with white 3 pieces will be winning. So knight f4. No, the rest is easy for anyone. You don't have to be a Firouzja to do that. Well, still some interesting moves that I would probably not play, like rook d5. Okay, there we go. And here Yilmaz resign because I will take on b5 next move, then rook goes to b7 and knight joins, and well, there is no way this pawn can be stopped. So very short confrontation on the queen side. It only took like let's see, like starting from c3, how many moves it took. So he got a positional idea that he needs to play c4, and then he does it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves. So I don't know if he saw queen takes c6 the moment he played rook c1. That would probably be a stretch. But again, like we're talking about strategic plan. Here we go. The middle game, what he does in the middle game right now, and is doing it better than anyone in the world. Okay. And maybe other than Magnus, yeah. So, okay. And do we have time for one more fragment? We should. Let's see. Load next game. Which one will be the next one? Erdos. What was there? Yeah, that it's very impressive game, but it probably will take more time. So let me go for some short fragment as the last one. Swiercz. Yeah, okay. Dariusz Swiercz, another player from St. Louis, okay. Played in the U.S. Championship this year. Actually gave him a really hard time in this game. In the beginning, Firouzja was seriously worse. Probably his worst position was black pieces during the whole tournament. But then he recovered, and that easiness with which he won a technical position, yeah, somewhere around here, white is much better, of course. And then recovery, and after a blunder over here, yeah, that last move by white. No, actually, the whole idea taking on c6 and going e5 is a blunder. Firouzja immediately spots his double attack after queen h4, knight g3 check, win in exchange, right? And the knight on c4. So rook f3, takes, d7. He picks. A couple moves later, we're gonna get the position that which is technically not that clear, right? Rook a7. White has a rook and pawn for 2 knights, which is, if any of those knights would be a bishop, we would not be discussing it. Clearly, black is winning. But 2 knights versus rook are not that effective. Okay, they're just like, especially if we, for example, if we take the queens off the board, white is probably better. But because queens are on the board, this is a technically winning position for black. The easiness with how he won this position is just like another sign to me, like that he might be already be there. Okay, despite obvious minuses yet and everything. So yeah, pass pawns are scary position. Like, to me, if I was in the game here, I would be like, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? To Firouzja, there was no doubt, like a single moment, that this position is winning for black, and that's how he played, and that's what the result was. So let me actually flip the board, and knight f5. All moves are to the point. There is like no time wasted in activating his pieces. b5, knight e3, no hesitation. In that regard, like the way he won this position, he reminded me of Kasparov, you know, in his best moments, like against Karpov. And so everything to the point. There is like king g7 here, right? I mean, you need a confidence to play a move like this, and he does it. When he knows when he's winning, I mean, it's really hard to play him. Rook e4, beautifully, and knight takes h. No, this position probably won in many different ways, but I like the way he finishes. The rook takes h2. So what's the win after queen takes h2? Okay. Yeah. If Firouzja said that Kasparov is his favorite player, I mean, no wonder. I mean, that's what he reminds me of in at certain moments. How does black win from here?
Knight g3.
King g1. Keep going.
Knight e2.
King h1.
Queen takes h2.
Very good. Okay. This is what, like in every beginner's book, that's probably what they start with. They're teaching you that it's called Anastasia checkmate, right? And they give you like an examples, like how is it, you know, beginners becoming a victim of Anastasia mate. Here we go, like 2 beginners, right? The one soon to become a challenger, and the other is like a super strong player who was leading the US team in the online Olympiad. I believe he was playing board 1, right? And that's so Anastasia, checkmate. Check here. Knight takes, squares away, takes, and takes. So cool. Oh, I guess this is where I'll stop. Okay. There were a couple of games that I really wanted to show you, but we simply don't have time. If you really want to see something impressive from him, how about oh, was it? No, that wasn't Blitz. There was one game against Aronian that was so complicated that it was almost, yeah, this was one pain to watch. Okay, I didn't know it was a blitz game. I thought it's more or less normal time control, but yep, he beat Aronian and on in Aronian position pretty much. Like it's very good. Anyways, you've heard me, guys. I think we were dealing with the next challenger here, the guy who's going to win next candidates, but that's just me. Okay, what do I know? Your opinions, everything, just let me know, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.